friends. My name is Jonathan Page. I am the Director of Connectional Ministries for Innovation and Creativity, and we are taking our General Conference preparation videos on the road. Today we're here with Allison Malloy. Allison's a part of our General Conference delegation, and Allison's also on the General Board of Church and Society, and that means she is a content expert in one of the big themes for this General Conference session, which is our revised social principles. And so, Allison, thanks so much for taking some time to hang with us today. Would you just tell folks in Virginia a little bit about yourself and kind of your role in the annual conference, your role on our delegation?
Sure thing. I'm thankful to be here with you, so thanks for having me. My role in the annual conference is, as you said, I'm a General Conference delegate, and I serve as the lay leader here at my local church, Flores in Herndon. And my role with the General Board of Church and Society, we are all board of directors, but I had the privilege of serving on the task force that worked with the writers and the revision team for our social principles.
I think that's incredible. So social principles, just as a whole, before we talk about the revision and some of the proposals that are coming before General Conference, can you describe for folks what are the social principles and what role do those have in our United Methodist life?
Social principles really help us as United Methodists imagine how human issues connect with the church and the world. Where is that intersectionality? How do we know what our guiding principles are and how they're informed? Of course, they're informed by scripture and Wesleyan teaching. And so this is kind of where the rubber meets the road and all the pieces connect.
Great. And so the social principles have been a part of what guides our life for quite some time, but now we have the Board of Church and Society has some revisions proposed. Just kind of from a top level, there's a lot of, I think, hundreds, if not thousands of pages of legislation that have these revisions in them, but from kind of a top level view, can you talk a little bit about why we're revising the social principles and maybe some of the content that's in there?
Absolutely. So in 2012, which I know has been a minute, but in 2012, the General Conference said, General Board of Church and Society, we need you to do the work, gather the people, get the feedback. And so 8 years of information gathering, legislation writing, material writing, listening sessions went into these new revised social principles. And the goal really was threefold. First, be sure that they're securely grounded in scripture and Wesleyan teachings. And then the second is they're kind of unwieldy right now. Might you make them a little bit more clear and a little bit more concise? And so they did those things. And then the third, we have an awful lot of disciplinary matter that is pretty U.S.-centric. And so the social principles are no exception. And so this gave us a chance to make them more globally relevant and really a content that's meant for all people. You do not have to be a theologian to read these. Every human, every United Methodist can engage with these and engage with the way and use them as they engage with the world.
That's great. And that sounds like one of the big outcomes of this is really it's allowing this to be a tool that informs life of United Methodists, both clergy, laity, and being able to live together in some sort of common practice. I wonder, are there other implications of this legislation passing and what you would forecast the impact of that being on United Methodists?
This legislation passing does help remove the incompatibility clause as far as queer inclusion in the church goes. And so that would be a very helpful piece, I think, for many. It also is written as a teaching document. And so instead of it being something that just sits on the shelf in your office and you don't really look back at it, it is a document that's intended to be engaged with. It's meant for Sunday school classes. It's meant for youth groups. It's meant for the person who wonders, okay, well, what do we think about fossil fuels? It's meant for us to engage with as we make our investments. So it's really a teaching tool and an opportunity for us to really live faithfully pursue peace, and seek justice as we engage with the world.
That's awesome. Well, I know personally I'm really grateful for the work that GBCS has done on this. The legislative committee that I'm participating in is one of the ones where much of this legislation is falling, and I'm looking forward to being able to work through that together and to see what can come from this. And so, Allison, do you have a last word for folks in Virginia about kind of your hopes for General Conference or for the revised social principles, or anything you'd like to share before we close out?
I think I'd really just like to be sure everyone knows that social principles are worth investing a minute in reading. They're worth investing our time as we figure out how to do life together, and so I would offer them to them.
Absolutely. And you can find more information about the revised social principles at our website, vaumc.org, along with all of our thematic content that's leading up to General Conference. This is one of a number of videos that we have related to some of the different themes that are going to guide what happens in late April and early May in Charlotte as United Methodists from all over the world gather together for our General Conference session. So Allison, thank you so much for educating us more on the revised social principles. We'll look forward to seeing you on another video in the near future. And in the meantime, we hope you have a blessed day. Take care, and we'll see you real soon.